So this week was a partial week or our time distortion week. So what we weren't expecting the cleanest of weeks, and you can see how we just chopped around a bit. Starting the week off, we did have this 4 hour SMT fill, right? And immediately should have been able to recognize this and see that price was setting up to move lower from here, okay? So we had this 4 hour SMT fill. CES did not trade into this gap, and from there we started to see us trade lower. There was no weekly cycle sequential S&T, but what triggered that move that we're looking for, that that lower move that we were looking for, is what we had is this 1 hour PSP here. We had a 1 hour PSP paired with this 15-minute or this daily cycle sequential SMT. So we have London's high, which would be here. London's high, yes. We have London's high here on YM. So here, daily cycle sequential SMT, and this 1 hour PSP, which gave us this pretty clean move. And of course, this was before that 9 to 11 a.m. time window that we're looking at. So I wasn't looking at the charts here. I'm not sure if any of you guys were, but this would have been pretty clean if you had caught this. And if we go back onto the lower time frame, we have a look. Going back to what we talk about with our fractal PSPs, so our higher time frame PSPs with our lower time frame PSPs within them, you can see here within this 1 hour PSP, okay, if you go onto the 5-minute chart, we have a 5-minute PSP, right, which formed the top of the 1 hour PSP. Okay, so this candle here, 625, was bearish and then bullish on NQ, and yes, I remember it doesn't have to be a swing point on all of the assets, just one. So this was a PSP on NQ and ES, but not YM. It was just a precision candle, and you can see this was the top of the 1 hour PSP. So lower time frame PSP within the higher time frame PSP. And then if you look to trade, if you were trading here, this could have been your entry when we closed. Or if you wanted to wait, you could have waited for the inversion fair value gap. But you know how we like to enter on the PSPs, giving us these tight stops, right? And then draws could have been this London low, your low hanging fruits. And that alone would have given you a 1 to 23 RR trade, right? So a 5-minute PSP anticipating a 1 hour PSP. And if I quickly draw out the open of the candle, the 1 hour candle would have been here. Make it red. Is it? No, it's down here. This, and then here, and then here. So how could you have anticipated this 1 hour PSP? It doesn't look like it would have been as easy using this 5-minute PSP. So let's go into the 30-minute time frame. And there was no 30-minute PSP. So it would have been pretty difficult to predict this 1 hour PSP, given how we're trading above the open on all the assets. So it's not a very good example there, I guess. But yeah, that 5-minute PSP alone, and within the 1 hour PSP, this fractal PSP, which are the real PSPs that we like to use. It gave us this, how many points is that? 300-ish point move, 300, 400 point move, right? So that was Monday, and then after that, there wasn't really much to work with. In that time frame that we're looking at, that 9 to 11 a.m. time window. Obviously, I didn't trade until Thursday, really. Well, I had to look on Thursday, but we had Christmas on Wednesday, so day before the bank holiday, we deem as low probability, right? So we didn't really look at the charts much on Tuesday, and then you can see it was just messy price action. Okay, so that would have been a day to avoid. Okay, the day before bank holiday, and then Wednesday, the markets were closed. Right, so there was nothing to do there. And then Thursday and Friday, I did trade, and I'll go over best as I can why I took those trades. But just quickly, I'll quickly go over what I'm expecting for the next week and the kind of outlook. So if we go onto the 3-month chart, as you know, when a new year starts, it's a new yearly candle, okay? And if we use that logic of the open, high, low, close, we'll be anticipating onto the yearly chart. We have an open, we have a high, we have a low, and a close, or open, low, high, close. Given that I'm bearish, I'm looking for a open. Actually, I'm going to use this. I'm looking for an open, a high, a low, and a close. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. If I go into the 3-month chart, then you can see how we've printed a 3-month PSP. Okay, so this is the opening of the yearly candle, and we have this 3-month PSP here. So what I'm looking at is we have the open, we have the high into the wick of this 3-month PSP, which is what we're having now, and then from there, lower. Okay, we have this 3-month gap. Let me change that to black. We have this 3-month gap here on ES and also on YM. So I would say the first long-term target, or for now, will be this 3-month gap. Okay, on YM at least. What may happen is we get something like this. Okay, given how close YM is to the gap and how far ES is from the gap. Okay, so this is a potential scenario for price to move lower and then higher using that 3-month SMT fill. If we go on to the weekly time frame, I'm still looking for this gap to be inverse on NQ and then lower. And as I've said numerous of times, I'm looking at these equal lows to be hit. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. At the moment, we have this, we had this SMT here, which gave us this little move. Well, not a little, but we had this move on Friday. But I'm not expecting this to hold. I've seen a lot of people saying they want to see all-time highs again, but in my opinion, that's not the play. Okay, I think this is just a small move coming off of this SMT, but it's not gonna be what sends us to all-time highs. So at the moment, we do actually have this daily swing on YM, this SMT between Thursday and Friday, so our weekly cycle sequential SMT, and we've also printed a 1-hour PSP as well as this 4-hour PSP. Okay, within these new week opening gaps. Okay, so we have these new week opening gaps, making this even higher probability. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at going into the week. And we have, if we look at the economic calendar, we have NFP next week, okay? We have 3 red folder news events on Wednesday. So I would want to see on Friday as well. So we may have that high or low of the week form on Friday. Based on the fact that I'm pretty bearish, I would want to see the low of the week form on Friday. So Monday may give us some bullish PA, on Tuesday either as well, giving us that high of the week before we move lower, because we do have these kind of smooth lows that also look pretty nice to be taken. Okay, so that's kind of what I'd be looking at, and then I would want to see NFP send us lower. Also, just go onto a lower time frame chart here as to why I don't think that S&P will hold. If you trade market maker models, this may be seen. This may be that original consolidation. Okay, so we have that original consolidation, first stage accumulation, whatever, second stage, smart money reversal. Here we have the SMT giving us that smart money reversal before we have those distribution phases lower, targeting all of these equal lows here, that engineered liquidity down there, and then lower and lower and lower. Because this looks, you don't even need to be using these S&Ps. This looks pretty bearish. Now we have all of these PD arrays, these bullish gaps being inversed. We have these bearish gaps being respected. So we keep inversing these bullish gaps, and this is order flow being switched. Okay, order flow is now bearish, I would argue. So we may have these small retracements with these kind of SMTs here. But yeah, we'll be looking at a lot of bearish price action at the moment, especially because of this 3-month PSP. Okay. Then I will go over Thursday and Friday's trades if I can remember why. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like MWOGs. Yeah, there's not something I really use all the time, but I still personally I do pay attention to them. They are quite, they're something that, yeah, I don't know, I guess they really are like true support and resistance. You can see how we just, how we tap them, whatever. But yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't say they're like a necessity. So yeah, that's up to you, I guess, whether you want to use them. But yeah, personally, they're definitely good draws on liquidity. To be honest. And I guess another thing is the more the week opening gaps like kind of overlapping each other, these are going to be even stronger, right? Which is just common sense. But we have, what's this, 3 new week opening gaps here, making this a pretty strong draw on liquidity as well. Okay, resting under all these smooth lows, as I said. And if I zoom out, or if I zoom out a little bit more, what was it? I was looking for something. We know that old SMTs hold a lot of liquidity under it, right? So we have this kind of SMT here, which gave us this huge move. And we have YM stop hunt. There's a lot of liquidity resting below these lows. Okay, so this is something else that I'll be looking for as a good draw. Okay, has anyone got any questions on that? On why I kind of want to see lower price in the coming weeks and months? We all good? I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, so Thursday and Friday, if I quickly have a look at my trades. So Friday we had no SMT, right? So I took a short. It was this here, and it was simply based off of these fractal PSPs. Okay, using PSPs on the lower time frame to anticipate a high time frame PSP. So if I go to the 30-minute chart first, where are we? This one. Go to the 30-minute chart, and I'm gonna do what I normally do. Which one's the PSP? This one. I'm gonna draw the open close, and I'll draw the open of the candle. And we'll go over again how we can expect to see PSPs form. Right, so the open of the 30-minute candle is here. Red line. So here, the trade I took was this, wasn't it? So at this point here, as we get closer to the close of the 30-minute candle, YM is trading below the open, ES is trading above, and NQ is trading well above, right? So this makes it obvious that we're getting a 30-minute PSP. So it's when that starts to happen, and you can see how YM was failing to expand as much as the others. That's when we go into the lower time frame to look for a lower time frame PSP to catch the top of the high time frame PSP. Okay, so on the 5-minute chart, where have we gone? We had this 5-minute PSP to black. We had this 5-minute PSP on ES, position candle on NQ, and PSP on YM. Okay, so this was the top of the 30-minute candle, or the 30-minute PSP, right? So lower time frame PSP within the higher time frame PSP. And I went one step further onto the 1-minute chart, where we had a 1-minute PSP here. Okay, so this 1-minute PSP was what my entry was. Okay, so bearish, doji candle, and bullish. Okay, and then my entry was here. And then to add to that, we had this turtle soup. Or this we had this S&T here with ES and YM, which is why I was very confident that we were going to have at least a retracement. Okay, because we had no sequential SMT or any SMT up here, which is why I didn't expect us to go all the way lower. And then I closed about somewhere around here as soon as we had this opposing 90-minute cycle sequential SMT somewhere here. So as soon as we had that, I closed. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense as to why I took that. So it was a 1-minute PSP. A bit smaller. It was a 1-minute PSP within a 5-minute PSP within a 30-minute PSP. Okay, and I believe there was also a 1-hour PSP as well. This was also a 1-hour PSP, even though it didn't end up holding. But yeah, this is that fractality of PSPs and how we can get these precise entries. Okay, so this is why I took that. This is how you can get those higher trades through this. this is the key, okay? These fractal PSPs. This is what we're looking for. And it all comes from being able to predict PSPs, right? Because if you don't know how to predict or anticipate a high time frame PSP, you won't know when to look for the low time frame one, and you're just going to get ran through. Okay, so that was Friday's trade, and then Thursday I think it was a long. It was I think it was this. I think it was this was the long. If I'm not mistaken, let me go find it. Where is it? Yeah, along from 9:45. This was what was this? I think it was this. Hold on a minute. Where did I long? 9:45 on Thursday. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong day. This one. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so this is the long that I took on Thursday. Okay, and as to why, I have no idea why, but let me have a look. So this after the S&T. Why on earth did I take this long? Ah, okay, so we had this 1 hour S&T fill. Okay, schedule with this 1 hour S&T fill with YM, I believe. Where is it? This one. At the time we had this 1 hour S&T fill, so 5-minute chart. So here, YM is failing to trade into this 1 hour gap. And what there was no, I don't think there was any PSPs here. I gave this move, or not on these time frames, but there was nothing here. But nothing here. I think maybe one day I will. I don't know. There's a couple of things that I'd like to keep to myself. PSPs that I use, but yeah, there's that 1 hour S&T fill, which led to this retracement higher, and I closed as soon as we had this S&T. Oh, we had this 90-minute cycle sequential S&T, right? And I closed when we had that, and then that's what led to this move happening lower, right? So this 90-minute sequential S&T with this 5-minute PSP. So this could have been the trade that you took after the long. So we had this 5-minute PSP here with the 90-minute sequential S&T. Let's see if there's a higher time frame one. We had this 15-minute PSP as well. So a 5 within a 15. So it's a 30-minute chart. Nope. 1 hour. 1 hour PSP. Okay? So you could have waited for the 10 a.m. candle to open after this 1 hour PSP printed. Let's go back. It's 10 a.m. It's here. 1 hour PSP is printed here. 15 and a 5 is printed. With the 90 minutes sequential S&T, this could have been the short that you took here. Okay, you could have put stop at the high, came close to the stop, and then could have gone for this low here, or any new day opening gaps or new week opening gaps that price traded into. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense on the trade you could have taken on Thursday. And oh yeah, and with that we also had this weekly cycle sequential S&T. So this is that model that I gave you, right? We have this weekly cycle, sequential SMT. Yeah, weekly cycle, higher time frame, sequential SMT. 1 hour PSP. Or was it 30 minutes? There's a 1 hour, wasn't it? Oh, maybe. Yeah, 1 hour PSP here with YM. This was a 1 hour PSP. You've had that. And then you have your lower time frame sequential SMT with your lower time frame PSP. We had both lower time frame PSPs, 15 and 5. If we go onto the 1 minute chart, let's see if we could have dissected it even further. So within the 5 minute PSP, did we have anything? We had, no, it doesn't look like we had any 1 minute PSPs. But that 5 and 15 should have been enough on its own. And if you wanted to, you could have entered on the 15 as well. But that's up to you. So yeah, that's what you could have taken on first day with the model. That's there. And then target whatever you want. Even this could have been your draw if you have the balls to hold it for that long. But yeah, that's kind of a little review of what we had this week and kind of what I'm expecting to see in the future. Does anyone have any questions on anything I spoke about? Or if any questions they want to ask in general? Or is everyone good? I think are we all good? I'm gonna be back trading again properly now since we finished with the holidays kind of. It might be slow, beginning of the year, but we have got a lot of news lined up, which should be good, should be fun. We've got news Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday next week with NFP. We have CPI the week after, which should be fun, I guess. I'm just expecting lower and lower and lower all the way down here. Cool. Yeah, looking forward as well. Yeah, this looks pretty good to just dump. But we'll see. Cool. If no one has any more questions, then I'll just wrap it up there. It's another short one, I guess, but yeah, not too much to really go over. And then I'll get this uploaded today, and then also try and get some of those videos that people were saying they wanted to see after I asked if there's anything else people wanted. So I will try and get those up as well. And yeah, I guess that's it. And then in terms of the daily reviews, I guess I'll start it from next week if I can. It might just be like a short 10-minute call after each kind of trading session, but I'll try and figure out how we do that. And I'm not sure if those will be recorded, but yeah, I'll try and figure out. Yeah, I'll try and figure that out. But cool. Next week, yeah, I'm expecting bearish NFP or that kind of, or just at least leading up to NFP, a dump, and then NFP may give us, we may have that TGIF on Friday, but yeah, we'll see. We'll just see what happens as the week happens. New virus is there a new virus? Didn't know. Damn, what's it called? New virus. It's gonna come up. What is this? Mysterious new virus outbreak. Oh my god. Another man. So it all makes sense. All makes sense. All just adding to this. All makes sense. You trading in all day for of news? No, I'll be trading every day. Yeah. COVID-19 markets such a party. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's that phrase, right? It's like the real world events happen because of the charts, and the charts happen because of those events. It's that kind of mind-boggling thing, and it will just it's the algorithm. Yeah, lots of deaths. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, man. Luckily, I wasn't really affected by COVID too much personally, but I had a lot of friends, I guess, that were affected. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully it's just a fake news or something. Hopefully nothing happens. But COVID 3 times is crazy. I got it once in like 2020, like a while after all of it finished, and yeah, it's just like a cold. But I don't know, got lucky. 3 times is a lot. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, but to be honest, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and kind of given that I expect a dump, having when was it? I spoke about it in a. I'm not sure when it was, but if I just quickly show you guys this again. Oh, this is what I'm kind of looking at. But if we look at the dump that COVID gave us, so this 6,500 point dump from COVID. If we look at from where this is all-time highs to these equal lows, that's 4,500, and potentially to here 7,000. We might be looking at something. If this plays out, we might be looking at events in the world as big as COVID. Not necessarily a virus, but wars and stuff like that. Since there's a lot of political stuff happening. But yeah, something similar to that scale might happen. But yeah, I guess that's it. We'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, okay, I'll just wrap it up there. And yeah, get looking forward to trading again tomorrow. Ready for a new year. Lot can happen in the year, so let's lock in, focus, and then let's make some money. Right. Cool. Yeah, I'll just end the recording.